Good evening, everybody. We are fresh out of Superman.
That's right.
So we're going to give you guys our fresh thoughts,
Yeah.
not sleeping on it. I mean, the movie ended, credits and everything, like 10, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Got to the car. Here we are.
I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it all.
So this is just how we're feeling. And on the next week's episode of the Comic Room Pod, we will give our full thoughts after having slept on it, thought about things. That'll be a full spoiler review. This will probably be either all or mostly spoiler review. Maybe minor spoilers if we...
So spoiler-free review.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Spoiler-free. This right here. No spoilers. Maybe a little bit at the end. Just if we feel like we need to say something. Who knows? We'll see when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So what do we think?
Okay, so it's I think it's 1977. This is Star Wars. It's the greatest movie I've ever seen. Okay. No, that's not how I feel. What do I think? Again, it's really just reaction after just having seen it. I think first off, people who are not fans of the comic book have a chance to like this movie because it's just a fun summer action movie.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think comic fans are going to like it that much because it didn't really deliver on a lot of different levels. I still think it's going to be a hit movie. I don't think it was great. I don't think it was horrible for the average moviegoer. But for me, as like a major comic fan, a comic book reader, it didn't really deliver the way I hoped it would. What about you?
So as soon as the movie ended, the guy to my left puts his hands up and yells, "We are so back." And then my wife, who's sitting to my right, leans over and says, "Is it just me or did that movie suck?" So
I thought I heard when I heard that guy. I thought what I thought he said was so bad.
no, yeah, he said we are so back. Which one?
And I wouldn't have agreed with him if he said so bad, but
Yeah. The Batman came out 3 years ago. We've been back.
Yeah.
DC was in good footing, and this movie is. I agree with my wife. This movie's bad. I think there are some. I can't say like full redeeming qualities. There are like half redeeming qualities that it seemed like were potentially stripped away to make sure that this is like kid friendly and can be processed by kids. But it was weird because there was moments like the use of like cursing in this movie. It felt so like forced, which I've never ever felt in a movie ever. Like I'm like cursing in movies happens all the time. Like you can curse in a PG movie.
Yeah.
But in this movie, like the tone of the movie, it was just like polar opposite. And then just like hearing Clark curse was just weird.
Yeah, it was strange. I think the word I have for the movie was that it was corny, and I think corny will appeal to a lot of people, and I know people who really just want to see fun Superman beat up the bad guy, and really there's not a lot of plot or character intrigue.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be fine with this movie. I was hoping for that, but it just didn't take me to that place of like I want to jump out of my seat. It was more like, here we go. Like this, just the inevitable fight scene and the little twist here and there didn't really hit much. And I'm not going to spoil anything. And there was a point at the end, and we'll talk more about this. I'll mention this more on Monday, but where there's a standoff between Superman and Lex Luthor that I think they really were trying for it to be a major emotional moment, and it did not land.
Yeah,
it did not land. Not for me. I don't know. I'm sure it didn't for you because I think you disliked the movie even more than I did. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I do think people will go see it.
Yeah,
bring your kids, and have fun, but don't go thinking you're gonna get like really cool DC lore, Superman lore.
David Cornsweet as Clark, great.
Yeah,
I
he was
think
great.
I think he played Clark better than Henry Cavill did. Henry Cavill, that was like one of my biggest complaints about Henry Cavill Superman is he's too suave. They didn't he just had it all together as Clark.
Right.
So they did a really good job with David Gordon Sweat and making him seem like he doesn't have it together. He's fumbling, like he's just not he does a very good job at selling the fact that
Right.
he's not Superman. Or like Henry Cavill's Clark, it's like, okay, this dude's like a stud. He's got it all together. He's a great writer. He comes in well dressed. Like his suit fits him. Like
Yeah.
there's something behind this guy. If you're able to like see beyond the glasses.
Yeah.
Him as Superman, I feel like he has so much potential to be a good Superman if the writing was good.
Yeah, the writing really inhibited what he could do.
Which is so surprising because James Gunn, like, I haven't watched Creature Commandos, so the last thing I've seen of James Gunn is Guardians 3. And Guardians 3 is an excellent movie with
Right.
so much emotional heart to it. And I understand that that's like the end of a trilogy, so there's definitely like a little bit it's a little bit different than the kicking off a movie or a universe even. But even in Guardians 1, like there's so much heart behind those characters and the whole like Soul Stone and just like their this group of misfits that like band together and you believe it and you buy into it. I didn't believe anything in this movie. I didn't buy into anything in this movie. It was all it just felt like it was halfway there.
Yeah, it was a lot of scenes kind of pasted together, scene, another scene, then another scene. And some of the scenes were really good.
Yeah.
And some of the scenes were really bad. But together they didn't feel like they put together a cohesive, like powerful a story that arced at the end and really landed. I after about 30 minutes, I thought, wow, this is terrible. Like, this is so boring. Is anything going to happen? And I really was struggling at the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I thought in the middle it picked up. And there were some really good scenes and some really cool fight scenes and some. I thought that was a good part of the movie, but I didn't really love the last 20% of the movie. I didn't think really paid anything off.
Yeah, the first by the time the title card came, I was like, I could get up and leave right now. Like, this is just like,
is it too late to get my money back?
Yeah, I mean, it was. Look, okay. The first 45 minutes of Man of Steel is some of the best Superman, like, content. Aside from the TV show My Adventures with Superman, the first 45 minutes of Man of Steel, I think, is amazing. After that, the movie starts to, like... I think there's a lot of critiques to come in Man of Steel after that, like the whole Zod thing and... Anyways. But the first 45 minutes is amazing, and I think it, like, you lock in really, really well with those 45 minutes. It's a lot of show don't tell about, like, who Superman is and who Clark is. And this movie... It just does a really bad job focusing on Superman and Clark in those first 45 minutes, and you get a little bit of a flyover of him, but they also introduce like 4, 5 other characters who are like pretty integral to the plot. So it's like those first 30 minutes, like, I mean, we're probably feeling that way because we're watching a Superman movie, but it's like there's a scene going on that's giving you a lot of detail about other characters, and that early on in the movie, it just feels like I want to watch I'm here to watch Superman.
Yeah, and the monsters that he was fighting were inconsequential and almost really laughable.
Yeah.
In the first, I thought, in the first 2 or 3 fight scenes were rather silly, and I thought, are we gonna? Is this going to be it? Because if this is it, this is really going to really be a dud, like serious dud. It got more interesting, but I don't know why it took so long to get there.
Yeah, I would say the movie starts to pick up with that clip that they released with Clark and Lois, with Lois interviewing Superman.
Yeah.
The clip that we saw, they actually deleted like kind of the middle, so we see like the beginning of that actual scene, and then a little bit of the end, and there's a lot in the middle that they didn't reveal in that clip, and so that whole dynamic was like really interesting. Probably the most interesting part of the movie for Superman and Clark as a character. He was pretty shallow the rest of the movie.
And we know this was going to be a different Superman, a different tone than any that we've seen before, and I think we were ready for that. But one thing I missed in this story arc, and I know we've seen it a million times, and we need to really see it again. I would have liked it. I think it would have fit with what they were trying to do tone wise. When the movie starts, Lois Lane and Superman already. Their relationship's already established, and I know isn't a spoiler. Right? Their relationship's already established, so we don't get to see them fall in love. And that going back to the 77, 78 Superman was such a humanizing thing for Superman, and such a cool emotional high point for the characters in that movie to watch that happen, because everybody loves a love story.
Yeah.
And this movie, and I don't want to say much more because I know we'll get into it on Monday, but this movie really kind of trying to focus on, the humanity of Superman, right? And we don't get to see him fall in love. We get to see him in this relationship with Lois, but because they drop us into it in the middle, I don't ever really believe it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I don't really buy it. And I wanted to, because, the moments we all saw in the trailers of them kissing and the whole thing, I wanted to feel that. I wanted to be like, but I didn't. The music, the beautiful music that came up didn't do it for me. Because the plot didn't take me there.
Right.
It could have been anybody.
Yeah.
That to me was a swing and a miss, that part right there, which is too bad, because they ironically were trying to show him as being human, but somehow missed this. The parts with his parents were better.
Yeah, I thought his his parents might have been the best casting in the whole movie. Mm-hmm. They were every time they were on screen, I was literally just like, just let him stay here.
Yeah, can we stay on the farm? That'd be cool.
This is when he feels like the most human, because it's like he's an adult and he's got to go back to his parents because he's in a lower place in his life.
Yeah.
And he's getting that love, and that's something that's going to resonate with audiences. Yeah. It's like, it's the first time you're an adult and you think you're on your own, you think you've got it, and then something happens and you got to call mom and dad. Or you got to go back to mom and dad's house. Like, I think that's a pretty universal experience.
Absolutely.
That every adult has at some point in their young adulthood.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that whole scene was probably, that scene and the Lois scene with the interview were like the two best scenes for Clark. Mm-hmm. Everything else, he seemed like a pretty shallow character. At the end of this, I'm going to give a minor spoiler that I'll expand on more in the
full release,
in the full podcast. But to also like the flip side of the coin of what you were saying with wanting to see the full like love story of Lois.
Yeah,
I didn't buy Lex as a villain for a second. Like, he's just like spewing his hate. And as a comic reader, not an avid Superman comic reader, but like having read his more popular runs, I know the like seething rage that Lex has for Superman. But in the movie, there's like no real reason why he hates him.
No.
It's like he just says, the most that we get is, I hate metahumans, but I hate him more.
Yeah, jealousy.
Like, and it's like, it's just, it's not believable. And so all of Lex's scenes fell flat.
Which is too bad, because I think that the actor who played him, has a lot of chops. You can see it. But the lines felt, I've tried to be a nice guy, right? I mean, I can't act at all. So anybody who gets in front of a camera, I have all the respect in the world. But the lines felt really forced, and it's more the writing on the nose, really on the nose. And again, it's a less sophisticated Superman. We already knew that going in. It was going to be that way. and so it did feel like a Superman for a younger audience. Like, let's not do anything but just on the nose bad guy, you
Yeah.
know. And I don't know, just yeah, that didn't work really for me. And it so all his rage and all
Yeah.
his fuming, and he does a lot of it, is almost like a caricature,
Yeah.
is what it seemed like to me.
Yeah.
And that's too bad, because that's a big part of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really, and so that didn't really pay off.
Yeah.
So here's my if
Hold
I
on
did-
before we
yeah.
move on from that. So I'll give more reasons, like specific scenes on that like dynamic, and like where I think they fell flat and why I think it didn't work, and why like these small little things all start to snowball,
Right.
and make it the not great movie that it is.
Yeah, it kind of is a cumulative thing.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. You can see what Gunn was trying to do. You can see, like, it's a movie that's trying to have a heart. Like, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see it. There's scenes in there. There's probably 3 or 4 that really are trying to hit on some thematic things and make you feel something. And I appreciate the effort. 1 or 2 landed, but the more important ones did not
Yeah.
land. And I have a friend who will say, yeah, it just if you want to have those payoffs, you have to earn it. You have to earn
Yeah.
it with everything that comes before. And I know that he's going to say that to me. Yeah, this, that, the other, they didn't earn it, because it
Yeah.
just didn't really pay off. And this, I mean, now what I'm going to say, people are going to just turn off their computers and their phones right now. I actually liked it better than Deadpool and Wolverine, because I didn't really like Deadpool and Wolverine much.
Okay.
I mean, but I knew I was in the minority, because Deadpool and Wolverine, there was no heart in that movie to me. Like,
Really?
there was a lot of one-liners and humor that just kind of turned my stomach, but it was exactly what it promised it would be, and everybody wanted when they went into the theater was to laugh
Fair
for 2 hours. And I had to say, for what it was exactly what it tried to be, and they hit exactly what they wanted. And I will take it back, it did have a heart, because there were moments where I did feel Deadpool's emotion towards certain things. But anyway, but this one, there was nothing about it that was objectionable. It just wasn't that good,
Yeah.
to me. It's okay. So let me ask you this. Will it be a flop? I say no.
Commercially, no.
It won't be a flop.
No.
Critically, yes.
I think it'll be split 50-50.
Within the comic realm, it's gonna. Most comic book people aren't gonna like it.
Yeah.
I can think of a few who will, because I know that they hated the former
Yeah, the
rendition.
Cavill stuff.
They
yeah.
didn't like Snyder and Cavill and all that stuff. But
So I think Thunderbolts is 100% a better movie than this. Thunderbolt earned those emotional moments. You still have to watch it.
I have to watch it. Yeah, it's
Okay,
got to be
it's
coming
on-
out anytime.
It's on streaming, I think.
Is it already? Oh,
Yeah.
then I'll watch it this week. I'll watch it. Maybe I'll watch it tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe.
No,
you
I don't watch it tonight. Should I? Because then we're going to record, and this will be in my head, and I just want to think about Superman. I don't want to
That's
get it.
fair. I was gonna say for the next week's episode.
Okay, I'll watch it for next one.
Because I was gonna say I'd be curious. I was gonna say you should watch it before, because I'd be curious to see if you like it more. But if you already don't like Superman right now, you're definitely gonna like Thunderbolts. So maybe you do
Yeah.
need to let stuff like resonate for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then maybe I didn't like that, or maybe you just see it in your hate and you hate it even more in a week.
It's good. I mean, yeah, we'll record the main pod, and then I'll watch it, and then we'll talk. I think it's this is a tough audience to please, because you're not going to be Henry Cavill Superman, so you go in another direction. You're going to be a little more cornball, a little more on the nose, a little more red, white, and blue, and all that. But it also isn't the Christopher Reeve Superman, who's like always noble, always doing the right thing, and always like reserved. This guy, as they say, crashes out.
Yeah.
This guy has kind of lines that just don't seem to fit coming out of Superman's mouth
Yeah.
at certain points, I thought.
Yeah.
But that's what Gunn was going for. So I don't
Yeah.
even know what to say about it.
Yeah.
I think a Superman is a tough character to do right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, I'm gonna get into a small, minor
Okay.
spoiler. So, is there anything else non-spoiler you want to say?
nope.
Okay, so if you want no spoilers at all, I mean, you're probably not watching this, but if you want to know nothing about some of them, if you want to know nothing, now's the time to leave. We appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe. Okay, for those of you who are still here,
Minor spoilers.
it's super minor. This isn't big. Okay.
Darth Vader is Luke's father.
There is not a single Superman fight in this movie that Superman won on his own.
That's a great point.
Every single fight, Superman got bailed out either by Krypto, the Justice Gang, or Mr. Terrific. Oh, we didn't talk about Mr. Terrific in the non-spoiler. Okay, well, sucks for them. Mr. Terrific steals the show.
Yeah.
He has the best fight scene in the whole movie.
By a mile.
Like, not even close.
That
Okay.
for me was when I thought, ooh, this is getting fun.
Yeah, totally. Okay, anyways. Fight after fight that Superman gets into, he gets bailed out by other heroes. And it got frustrating. When we got to the last big fight, I was like, okay, now he has to do this on his own. Like, now it's got to be all him, all his strength. There's a lot of context around where there's no more excuse, right? And it still didn't do it.
No.
He got bailed out.
He still got bailed out. Yeah. I thought this is the weakest fighting Superman I've ever
100%.
I've ever been presented with.
100%.
He lost every fight.
Yeah.
Unless he got help. And even then barely did he win.
Yeah, and this isn't even like one of the big complaints coming out of the Batman was, oh, he's stupid. He couldn't figure out like what was going on, and he got the wrong answers to the riddles, and my Batman's a genius, and yada yada. And it's like, well, that was the whole point of the movie, was like he thinks he's bigger than he is.
Yeah.
Like, and he thinks so he's typically always a step ahead. But in that movie, he was a step behind every
Right.
time for Riddler. And so that was like contributing to the big character arc. And then that's what leads to the end of the movie, where he's like, wait, I'm a beacon of hope for the people. That same character arc was not here for Superman. One,
No.
he's an alien, and he's the most powerful metahuman, which they say it loud and clear, literally in text at
Yeah.
the beginning of the movie, that he is the most powerful metahuman that the world has seen after 3 centuries of metahumans.
Yeah.
So he has like no excuse why he shouldn't be wiping the floor.
Yeah. Even when he was successful, like it was under great strain. Like he could barely
Yeah.
and the Superman I think of is, nothing is really too heavy for him.
Yeah.
Unless there's kryptonite in the room.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let us know
Yeah.
what you thought. We'll have our full spoiler review on the podcast coming out Monday. We'll get into all the like nitty gritty, more like specific moments that contributed to the way we feel.
Okay, real fast. Audience response within the theater. There were a couple laugh lines where everybody laughed in the theater.
Yeah.
Which I kind of surprised me. And then there was applause at the end of the movie, which also surprised me. It wasn't like erupted applause.
Yeah.
Like after, I think, Top Gun Maverick, it was like more like, wow, But people still applauded. It was a little bit more than just polite applause. So what did you think about the audience response?
Some of the laughing, I don't know how you feel.
Laughing with or at?
Yeah, some of the laughing felt like they were laughing at the movie, and there were funny moments. Don't get me wrong, like there were moments that definitely had me laughing.
Mm-hmm.
There was also some like really childish like jokes that they were making that just like didn't hit at all.
Yeah.
Like there's a scene with Mr. Terrific in a garage, and the theater was like dead silent.
Yeah,
the whole time. So I felt like it was like it was probably like 70-30, like 70 laughing with and then like 30 laughing at. I think the Deadpool and Wolverine applause at the end of the movie was
real.
louder.
Yeah.
This one, yeah, you're probably right. Probably a little bit more than polite, and not maybe a mixture of like polite and like the guy to my left, like he put his hands up and yelled, "We're so back!" Like
I thought like I said, I really thought he said so bad, and I believe that someone in the theater would feel that way.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he didn't say that. But I don't. It's not, certainly if I had to rate the movie between so bad and We're So Back, it's neither one of those for me.
Yeah.
It's we do the 1 to 10 scale, or like the CGC. It's like a 4.5 for me.
Yeah.
In that arena. My heart wanted it to be better. You guys all know that, but but I think legitimately, its beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. There will be people who take their kids to see this movie and have a great time.
Yeah.
And good for them. So for them, it'll be like an 8.5 movie. It's a 4.5 for me.
Yeah, I think when
First blush.
When I tweeted this a couple days ago, and I said it was like when the embargo first lifted, and so a lot of people were starting to give like their first reviews. I tweeted, wow, people who wanted to love the movie, love it. And people who wanted to hate it, hate it. Who would have thought? And so I really do think that this movie is going to be whatever you want it to be for you.
Yeah.
If you want to love it, you're probably going to love it. If you want to hate it, you're probably going to hate it. If I was really excited about this movie a year ago, and just through marketing, trailers, clips, my excitement dropped. And the movie couldn't pick me back up. So I think that's how I feel.
Now, my wife, who isn't a comic book person, doesn't know the first thing about the comic book universes and isn't interested. She liked the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun.
It's
fun when
she's gonna think my 4.5 is a betrayal. I'm sorry, babe.
It's fun when you're not thinking too much about all the lore. And
I know. Maybe we're prisoners, man.
I mean,
bit.
definitely. But you know what comes with that? Sometimes that means you can't enjoy movies that should be enjoyed, but the movies that
are done
well, you love more than anybody else.
That's like the Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so,
that's fair. You got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah,
the bad with the good.
So I think, yeah.
Okay.
I have a lot more thoughts when we get into spoiler territory.
But there's our first thoughts on it.
Yeah,
we're within an hour of this thing ending, so still forming them. But there you go.
Yeah. So be sure you're back here Monday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or 7 a.m. I don't remember. Between 7 and 10 a.m. I posted somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Make sure you're back for that. We'll have a lot of spoiler talk, and we'll also be kicking off a brand new segment in the Comic Room Pod this Monday. So yeah, it's a good reason to come back.
Yeah, check it out.
You can follow us on Instagram. I'm at @Spros_comics. He's at Mr. Period Longbox. Hope you guys have a good weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Yeah. Bye.